This is my Unusable Widget project. I decided to do it in Vue.js just because that's what I'm more familiar with. Um, and I also decided to do more of a form. I took inspiration from the example we did in class of that terrible form that we filled out. Um, and yeah, so yesterday I actually had my wife try and fill it out, and she got too frustrated and actually did not succeed in filling out the form to completion. Um, so, yeah, I would say it's definitely unusable. The things I mostly tried to do in this project were issues with the goal of execution and goal of evaluation, as well as a few signifier issues throughout. So I'm just gonna kind of use my wife as an example of how she filled it out and what she did to explain these issues. So first she came to this, she just presented with this. She filled in her name and she hit tab and it cleared out what she put in. So she tried again and she hit enter and it cleared out what she had. And she sat here and had no idea what to do. And she was really frustrated, and I gave her a little hint to try scrolling. So she scrolled down and noticed that there was another field. So she proceeded, being careful not to hit tab or enter, filled out position. She came to this bio button, and firstly she wasn't really sure which one of these to click, which one meant what. But then she started clicking them and thought, okay, this isn't doing anything. And so she just continued on. She filled out her email, scrolled down, she put in a secure password, and she almost clicked this button, which had she done would have cleared out everything that she had just put in. And then, oh, I forgot to reset it, but and then she cautiously clicked this save button, and then all of these popped up. And at that point she said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going back and I'm not filling these out the way that you want them to be filled out. So that was the end of the little experiment. But so let's go back and talk about each one in slightly more detail and what things I broke and why it's bad. So first, I guess we can talk about that one first. Okay, this bio field, the button that she thought was doing nothing, actually makes that field appear or disappear. So I'd say that's a goal of evaluation because she was clicking it and she couldn't tell that it was doing anything when in fact it was doing something, and it was doing something important because having a bio is actually a required field. So yeah, she had to click yes, and she would have had to go up to the top and fill it out. In fact, all of the fields are required, and there's no indication, there's no indicators that they are required fields. So that's kind of a goal of evaluation issue as well. Like, you don't know that going into it, and there's no indicators to indicate that. Next, the issue with just hitting tab and it clears things out. So if I hit tab here, not only does it clear out this field, like that, you see it right off and say, oh, it just cleared this field, when in fact it clears all the other fields. It didn't clear the bio for some reason. That must be a bug. But it clears all the other fields out. And so that's both a goal of execution and goal of evaluation problem, because whenever you do it and you evaluate it cleared out this field, but what you don't evaluate is that it cleared out all the fields. You would have no way of knowing that as you're filling it out, that everything above you just got cleared. But it's also a goal of execution because that's not what you expect to happen when you hit a tab. You have no way of knowing that it's going to do that, and it's kind of a big issue. So I'd say it's both. Next is the huge spaces between each field. I'd say that's a gulf of execution because you just don't know what to do when you're first greeted. There's no indicators that there's anything below you. You just have no idea what's going on, really. Next, we'll go on to the position field. As you're typing in this, you don't know that there is a specific few positions that you must put one of those in. If we go down to the bottom, these are the only valid positions that it will take. As you're filling it out, there's no indication of that. You think that you can put in whatever you want. So I would say this is a gulf of evaluation problem. You're typing and there's no indication that anything is wrong, so you think that everything is good, when in fact there is something wrong. Next is the bio button. Oh, we already talked about the bio button. Also, just the indicators. Obviously, I took heavy inspiration from what we did in class. Seeing click in the button and having the title on the outside. Then also just the colors are backwards from what we expect, so really bad indicators there. The email field is actually normal. I didn't do anything crazy with that one. Password has a very specific criteria for what is considered a valid password. And I tried to make it, I don't know if I actually did it 100% properly, but I tried to make it so that it was so specific that the only valid password was password1, capital P. And as you're filling it out, you have no way of knowing what the criteria are, or if what you just entered is a valid password or it's not a valid password. So I'd say it's a little of both. It's gulf of execution because you just think that it's like any normal password. There's no indicators to indicate that anything is different, so you just fill it out. But it's also gulf of evaluation because as you're typing, there's no indicators to tell you that what you're typing is wrong or that what you just typed isn't a valid password. Yeah, so, oh, and then this looks like a button that would do something good, which, in fact, if you click it, clears everything, at least it should, yep, clears everything out, which is probably not what you would expect a big green button to do. And then this says caution, and it seems like something you might not want to do when it's actually just something that it's what you should do. So yeah, I tried to mess with some gulf of execution, gulf of evaluation things, and some just common signifiers, and breaking some expectations. So I had a lot of fun doing this. It was fun to try and make things that were unusable, as opposed to try and make things that are usable that turn out unusable. So yeah, that's my project. Thank you for watching.